Hello, welcome to another Terrain Tuesday. In this, we're going to do a project where I'm going to try and hopefully skip through most of it. Because what I want to do is, in this project, we're going to make the mill that you see in Lord of the Rings in the Shire. I want to use this for part of my Scouring the Shire campaign that I'm doing. But most of the techniques that you build the mill have been covered in this channel before. So it's like a brick wall, you've seen that done before, it's just brick pattern carved in the foam. It's a timbered house, we've seen that loads of times before, like most recently sort of on the Old Hammer video house I did, but last year we did it in the more time buildings. But what I want to do really for this is build that, show you how I built that, give you measurements and quick techniques, but mainly refer to the other videos for more detail on that. But really I want to show you how to do this. This is what it's going to look like, by the way. But I want to make this video really more about the thatch roof, how to do this really quick, cheap and easy thatch roofing. So that's what we're going to be doing this one. That's alright. I did want to maybe also cover getting the water down here, but I think this video is already going to be way too long already, even though I'm rushing through the actual main building of the house. So we'll cover doing water in a separate video in the future. But yeah, this video really is about the roof really, but we will go through and show you how to make the building. So let's do it. So the top half of the building, the timber bit of building, is going to be made from foam core. This is 5mm thick foam core, and the bits you're going to cut from this are going to be as per the dimensions on the screen now, so hopefully you can see that. When you cut out the window, keep that to one side because we'll use that as a template later on for making the windows. As I said in the intro, I'm not going to go over in great detail the timbering of the buildings because I've done that on numerous videos before, such as the more time video build. But one thing I am going to be doing a little different is I'm actually timbering it before I assemble it. So like this. I've got it all timbered and bits, and I'm also going to paint it before I assemble it. So there might be a painting guide. Again, it will just be painted like the more time one. I'll probably quickly go over a bit. One thing to take note of if you're pre-assembling it. So this is part A. This is part B. Part B will fix on behind part A like this. So you've got to timber the side there, but not on this side here. Also, on part C, that will fit onto part B like so. So again, you don't need, that's why I've left this gap here, but also you can hopefully see I've left a little gap here just so it can clip over this beam here like so. Part C also has that's just balsa wood that I've scored a wood pattern in, so I cut that out and glued that on again. Balsa wood on the end. So part D again has its window, doesn't have the end beams in because they're on the end of this one, and it's just going to fit behind there. So part E, I've kind of had to make up the back. You can sort of roughly see it. So I just put one of these Tom Aurelian windows on, made a door myself because I only had one of these doors that I'm going to use on the front here. This is Tom Aurelian door. I've done a review on these, so I'm going to put this on the front door. On the back I only had one of these, so I just made one same sort of dimensions out of chipboard and scored some patterning. But as I said, can't really get a good look at the back, so I just made that up. But again, that's going to need some boarding on the end, as this will fit together like so. So that's the top timber bit. As I'm going to paint this now. You've seen there's loads of guides on the channel about the colours I'm going to use. From the Old Hammer house I did to the more time build, so I'm just going to do that with these. The bottom stonework is just made from pink foam. You're going to need to make from some 6mm pink foam thickness, and you're also going to need a bit that's going to be 10mm thick. So that's what this is. So what we're going to have here is, once more, the dimensions for this are on the screen, of the bits you need to cut out. I've pre-timbered the buildings, I've pre-scored the brickwork into them, which again, this in videos I've covered this numerous times on the channel, and I'm also going to be painting it again. Numerous channels I've painted the brickwork in various colours, so probably won't show you that, but I'm just going to quickly show you how it all goes together. So part A, part B, part B will just go on behind part A, like so. So the brickwork here will need to match up. Your 10mm part C is going to go like that on part B. Going to go on the end here. Part D is just going to fit on the inside of this part here, so you can see that here. This little part E is going to fit here, the inside. Part F will go much the same as this is going to be. If you remember, this part here, this is going to sit on top of here, so that's going to go on the, like so. And then your big back bit is going to go here like that, and so when it's all ready, that will fit here. This bit would on top of here, that part will go underneath, that goes there, so wall, or like etc. Hopefully you get it, and once it's all dry it will hopefully be clearer. You'll notice two things hopefully already. There's no back wall, there's no wall bit here. I'm going to make that separate later on when it's done, and some of the flooring's missing, but I won't make that until it's all dry, so I know what size to cut out. But for now I'm going to be painting and assembling these. Going to be making the windows in pretty much the same way as the windows and doors video that appeared on the channel beginning part of the year, so you can have a look at that. The only thing I'm not doing is, in that I painted the back of it kind of either blue or yellow as a stylized sort of reflection. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually be using this sort of stuff. This is overhead acetate or overhead projector, printable projector you buy for your printer. It's just a thin sheet of clear plastic. I'm using the square mesh net as seen in the video, and those bits that I told you to keep when we cut out the windows, just use those to draw around the card. And you can see I've got the front window done here, so as you can see, if I can catch that, it sort of reflects, so it looks like glass, but it'll be black, so it looks like it's dark inside the building, but it reflects so it looks like glass. And I'm just going to use a chipboard frame to go around it, so you just glue round the edges here to glue the acetate in, glue round the edge here to glue the mesh in as per the video, and then just glue that over the top. But like the video, paint this first, glue it over, and yay, window. And so try and get it to reflect now. Yeah, there we go. So it reflects, so it looks like glass. That's how I'm doing the windows. So I'm just gluing the base together. I'm use a set square to get some of the right angles done, then use something just to hold them in place. But I'm also using the handy grid, because I've made this metric this time. My grid's metric, so I can just make sure everything is lined up. And I've just glued this bit of the house here. All the windows are in, just letting the glue dry. And as you can see, it's all painted. I think if one thing I'm going to take away from doing this build, because I normally build it and then paint it, is yeah, painting it before you build it is quite handy. You can get to those really normally difficult to reach pieces, and so I'm probably going to take that away from this build. I'm going to paint it before I build it. I've just got to make some floor sections that are going to go along here and here, just basically just one bit here. I think going to glue that in, and then once it's all on, I can work out how big this end bit, which is just going to be a brickwork with a chimney on the end, and then got a few more bits to do after that. So got all the base glued now, and I've just added on a little bit of floor, just made from 6mm pink foam, and just put a crazy paving type pattern on it. Now I'm just going to glue the top bits all together and on it. So the front bit, that'll go there. This side bit, that will just glue into here. I'll sit here. This part will just go in between here, and this part will just sit on here. So I'm going to glue that, and you will still notice that we're missing the end wall, which I'll do once all this is dried in there. And you'll probably see here as well, we've got a door, we've got one at the front. We're not going to be able to get access to it, so I'm going to make a little mini sort of slope hill, grass hill slope here. And then we'll get to sort of the main parts of this, what I want to do in this guy, which is the roof with thatching, and the actual water mill bit with a bit of a water effect in. But the main part of this article is obviously how to do thatching, so I'm trying to get through this part of the build as quick as possible, so I'll just get this glued. So I've made the back wall that I was going to do, it's just made out of 10mm. The dimensions are on the screen now. As far as I say, it's the same width. That's the widest bit here. Comes in a bit here, and it'll come in again up here, so that this bit is the same width as this bit here. So we're going to run a roof down here. I think you can see some pictures on the latest build of this, which is used for the Hobbit films. It has an extended bit down here of house, but I'm not going to do that because I feel it's already kind of the right size and shape I want. So I'm just going to make it up and have a brick wall. And the version I saw did have a brick wall like this on the end. One thing that will be missing from this build is a chimney, just mainly because with the current situation I can't get hold of the materials I'd want from it, which is extruded foam. So I'm now just going to run some glue on this, glue it in place, and then next step we're going to make the hill for it. So what you might need to do while you're gluing the back wall in is just pin it. These can be removed afterwards, but next step is to get a sheet of white foam, an inch thick, or whatever thickness you get hold of. I'm going to build the hill up that's going to go around the outside here. Be quite a wide sort of hill because I want a somewhat steady slope. I'm just going to get a marker pen, mark out. That I've got cut out. Here, probably need a better pen than this. I'm just going to draw a hill shape and cut that out twice. So hopefully you can see that if I stand in the way. Drawing a line round, all around here, and so I'm going to cut this out, and I'll use that to draw around again to cut out twice, and then I'll start beveling the heel on. I might need to add a bit of 10mm pink foam scraps around here and cover it up. So I've got 2 layers of the white foam and 1 layer of 10mm pink foam. That's going to give me the correct height. But I need to slope the edges of the hill upwards. I'm not going to show you that because it's just using a hot wire cutter. If you want to see it in detail, the Hobbit hole, making the Hobbit hole video, it's pretty much the same thing. Whereas this is, imagine this is the Hobbit hole. It's going to come around with a hot wire cutter and just angle the edges off. Okay, so here it all is in place, all sloped up. If you had more room, like storage room, you'd make the hill slightly bigger so the slope's gentler. But I need to get some enough so there'll be models up here. So it's doable. I can get up there in one turn. I've made a wee mistake. I've noticed I've cut too much off around here, so the door's just on the edge. It is what it is. I can live with that. Gonna let the glue dry, so it's not quite dry yet. Remove this from it, and then we're just gonna mod rock this like we did with the Hobbit hole, and paint it green and flock it, and then that'll be this done. And we can glue this all in place then. Probably glue it in before I flock it, but yeah, anyway, first plan, let it dry, mod rock. If you've seen the Hobbit hole video, you know what's going to happen next. Just going to mod rock it. So you just get some plaster on a roll, put it in water, put it on, and apply it all over. If you want more information, please go ahead and watch that video. For now, I'm just going to get this all mod rocked up. Yeah, the Hobbit hole video will go into more detail on what it is. Just effectively, it's plaster on a roll that you wet, rub it on. When it dries solid. The heel's now all dry, nice solid. So I've got to paint it now. I'm going to be painting it hopefully green. I don't have that much. I think I was running out when I did the Hobbit heels last year, so it might be a combination of green and brown. But either way, it's just to, just to give it a base. So all I'm going to do is just spread it on. Again, further detail, watch the Hobbit one. Put blobs of paint on in areas, watered down brush, just paint it green. Well, I had enough green, so now it's just time to flock it. This can be done in exactly the same way as the Hobbit whole video. I'm just going to do it a patch at a time. Just going to do this first, get some PVA. And what I'm going to do is be using this bit here to hold on to, so I'll be doing all round here and then do this little patch last. But it's just a case of putting PVA on, coming down with a wet brush and just moving that PVA around. That's on the inside. Like so. Trying to get it to cover as much as possible. Couple of sheets of paper just to catch any excess. I'm going to be using sort of a green blend, the light spring mix. This is Jarvis light meadow green I use for my Hobbit bases, and this Jarvis spring mix as well, but mainly this with bits of the others all sprinkled in. So what I'm going to do is it's easier to do the bottom first, just to make sure you've got that covered. Tap off and do this. I'm not going to be applying these until I've got all the main bit done, because I just want it on the top kind of thing. So what I'll do is I'll carry on doing this. When I get to that stage, I'll probably carry on recording. So we got it covered, and just in patches, it's going to come over. Should soak through. Not a lot, just to break up the grass. And we're going to spray some hairspray on it afterwards anyway, just to break it up. And then some of this. I like this because it's got all different sort of colours into it. It almost looks like wild grass. Okay, just going to pour it on. Just like that, I think. Yeah. I hope you can see that sort of broken up, that solid green. What I'll do is, once this is dry, tomorrow now, we'll come in and hairspray it, keeping its bouffon in place. Once the glue's dry, just come in with some hairspray and lightly spray it. This will just hold any loose bits in place. And let that dry. Next up, get a compass and set it to 2.5 centimeters wide. Just draw 2 circles. Next, just shrink the protractor a bit and draw a circle in the middle of that. Helps you, protractor compass helps you have a better compass than mine. It just is rubbish. Get a better one. Do the same for the other circle. Finally, come in and draw a circle that's about ½ centimetre in the middle. Ooh. And I'm just going to be doing this by hand. I'm going to draw some spokes. Do 2 either side here. Got 4 there, and then some middle ones. And when you cut it out, you're going to cut out all the non-spoke bits as well. Just do that on this one. When cutting it out, cut out the spokes, the sort of in between the spokes first. It might take a couple of passes to be easier. Take time with it. So here they're all cut out. Next up, you want to get a bit of balsa dowel, cut it to 2 centimeters, and it's just got to be sort of diameter so it fits in your circle there. And get 8 squares that are 2 by 2. These are going to be act as these sort of water paddles, and I know this is going to drive me to despair already, so I'm going to use super glue. Next up, I want to make the little, I don't know, walkway. It's going to make from popsicle sticks. These are now 4 centimeters long. This can be 2 centimeters wide and 3.5 long, so it's going to fit there. This will fit on the end where the water comes down. Just got to glue popsicle sticks to the bottom, like so. Form a little water runway trough, and then paint that in the same way you've done the rest of the wood. On to the roof now, and we're going to make the understructure out of sort of 1mm. I think it's 1mm. I always refer to it as 3mm, but I believe it is actually 1mm. Of course it is 1mm thick chipboard. I'm using black here, it doesn't really matter. What you want to do is you want to measure sort of, it's going to be the length of this part of the roof here we're making. So it's going to go across here, so it's 22 centimeters. And to get the angle, you want to measure this part of the roof here, which is 6.5, and 6.5 will just take it probably down to where we want to go. Probably be slightly raised up. That does not matter for this too much, as we're going to be covering it. It's not going to be seen. So and then mark a line halfway down, and we're just going to score this line. So I'll probably score this first, just to make the fold easier. Just one little cut there to make it easier. I'm just going to come a bit proud of the 6.5 on this side, I think. A mil proud, just to allow for cuts. Wonky cuts and things. You probably, when cutting chipboard, use a fresh knife, and you're going to want to do multiple passes at it. Hopefully, if I've scored enough, it will just bend. And this is going to form this part of the roof. And what you're going to want to do is just roughly measure out this bit here, because you want it sort of tucking under. I'm knocking the mic with my feathered pen. I'm just going to put some scores in here, and that'll go tuck under, and we're going to put a little canopy on here later on anyway. So you end up with something like that. That's going to be this part of the roof, and we're just going to come on, make that bit. And I've got this end bit, which is interesting because what I want to do now is continue. Really, I want to see how it looks. I'm going to try and continue this like using a ruler. Really difficult on camera. So we have this angle here, so I'm going to try and hold it in place where it's going to go. I want to continue that up here, like so, because I'm going to mark a line and I'm going to cut this bit out. Difficult to show on camera, hopefully I can show you afterwards. All the best ideas and all that, we're scratching that, because if you look on the actual picture, it's got a little dormer window here, which I forgot about, so it's going to be actually work out easier. So what I'm going to do is measure 2 inches back, and then go corner to that on each side. But to get the dormer, I'm going to come out, what, making this up as I go along, an inch. Come down to there, it's not working out live. Enough for him to put a door in, or 3/4 of an inch. I say 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to come out 3/4 of an inch here. So let's go 1.5 inches from this end to this end. That will make it infinitely more simpler to do, because now I can just draw a line here to here, like so, and I can cut out this bit here, and then that's going to give us our roof with dormer. This is so difficult to do on camera. I think at this stage it's going to be easier to get this glued in place, so we can make the front bit here, which is going to go up, in, and then straight along, leaving us this triangle here to put a window in. Ooh, or am I? Because that'd be difficult to get the window in. Might make the window first, so that's fine. Let's get that done first, and then I'm going to glue it on. So I'm going to make a triangle that is 3.5 wide and 2 centimeters high. So it's a triangle there, and I'm going to make it out of chipboard, and I'm going to make it exactly the same as the other windows we've seen. And I'll probably paint it as well. So before we going to glue this and put a window in, I thought I'd make this back bit of the roof. For this, it's going to be this sort of square here, so that's going to be 10 by 5.5, giving us that square here. And I did make a sort of paper template just to help me assist me, but on this it's going to be another 4 centimeters high, and then this width here is just the width of your triangle. Then cut down, score down so it folds, and then that will sit here and the window will be in there. So what I'm going to do now is get the window made, glued in, get this glued on, and then get this bit glued on, and then we'll just make this bit here, and then we're ready for the thatching. Oh, and the canopy. Here we are, roof almost done. So I've got this in place, There's a little window. some of terrain videos, love them. All the noise outside. I've got the little bit here. This is just made from strips of card cut to size, put there. To glue it on, I did a combination of PVA and Superglue. So on the actual building, I applied PVA, and then round the roof, I did Superglue. Got this bit here to do. Now this is going to be quite easy. From here to here is 8 centimeters, and here to here 8 centimeters. From here to here is 8 centimeters, and this point here is 3 4.5 centimeters on either side, which will give you a shape like that. So it's 8 centimeters, 8 centimeters here, and then 3.5 here on straight. Fold it in half, and you have this. It hasn't gone down all the way to the edge here. I'm not too fussed about that because it wasn't meant. This wall was meant to be here anyway, and we're going to cover it in fur. This is just something to put underneath to allow the fur to get to. So yeah. So for this, I'll some PVA up here, along here. So, oh, thank goodness traffic stopped. Yeah, I live on quite a main road, so sorry, I keep saying this on a lot of my videos, especially this time of year. Sorry if you're hearing traffic noise. Can't help it really. I live on a main road. Not a lot else I can say about it. Yes, we got some super glue, apply it down here, onto the edge here. It's going to attach onto the roof, on this bit here. Unfortunately, I can't really apply it here because it's where I'm holding it. So, what this will do is it will dry it really quick and bond with the PVA and be really strong. So, actually, but it does mean you've got limited time to manoeuvre it about and so forth. And see, hold it in for about a minute, and then that'll be dry. I mean, probably dry. Move away now. I'm just going to hold it in place, let it set a bit, and that is our substructure roof done. We can finally get on to getting the whole point in this article. Really, just get some thatch on it. So, getting to the important bit now, which is thatching the roof. But how are we going to thatch it? Well, we're going to use teddy bear fur. So yeah, this is a teddy bear fur. So yeah, no teddy bears harmed in the making of this video. This is honey colour. This should be enough to get us through. This will definitely be enough to get us through. I'll put a link to this in the description. One thing to note, you'll notice it's got a direction. You want this bit at the top, this bit at the bottom, so it's going down. It's going to be quite somewhat simple to do. We're just going to do it in stages, tidy up afterwards. So, if I could, I wonder if I can try and get a way of doing it in as much as possible in one piece. As you can see here, that does break my. I don't know if I can. What I was trying to do is get a way of doing one piece. Definitely do this one. I don't think I can. So all I'm going to do is put it on where I want it. Obviously, so I want the direction to go down, and then just sort of trim off where I don't want it. So basically, going to cut this bit off. So I'm going to do that now. So, got all the bits cut out, and if you'll notice, I'll be covered in teddy bear fur, but this bit will just go here, like so. What I'm going to plan to do is just glue it on, and once I've glued it on, any bits like this I'll trim off, because we're going to have this bit in here. Be easier to trim it off at the end, like that. This bit here, all around here. Now, I know what you're thinking. It looks somewhat like this bit. kind of looks like thatch, but it's a bit woolly. That's going to go here, and I think this bit goes here. And then glue this on. That kind of looks like thatch, but it's a bit woolly. We're going to get to that, so I want to get this all glued on. So easiest way to do that: cover the entire roof, PVA, and then apply this on. Let it dry, and we're going to come back to it. So trim off any excess, and coming with some watered down PVA, a fair amount, that'll do, and an old toothbrush. Come in, get some glue, mix it in. What we're going to do is, straight here, this is probably a good one to do, start at the bottom, and with the glue, we're down to start at the bottom, do a row, then come in, do a row over the top of that, come in, do a row, over the top of that. See where I'm going with this? And you just keep going until you've got it all done. Attention to the side. Like so. So I'm going to carry on doing that. You're going to get loose bits of hair. Try and save these, as we can use them to, I've done it here, just to put on the top here, just to cover up the joins. So don't worry if you get bits like that. So put them to one side. It's quite therapeutic doing this. Construction was a nightmare, but this part of it is actually really nice. No tiling. When you get to the top, you may need to just hold on to it, stop it from peeling away. It can get quite tricky, especially when your fingers get all gluey. Like most things, when it comes to glue, you'll want to glue to everything but where it's meant to. I think all that'll do for now. As it's drying out, if you see any that seem to not look wet, you can wet them up. And now with these bits here that we've got off, just come along and just sort of use these to hide the worst of the gaps up and put them back in the liquid here. Just like so. Actually up here where there's quite a few joins going on. Almost making it like a roof ridge tile. with not quite finished, but I'm finished enough for demonstration purposes, I guess. Call it. So we just got to let this dry now. And this is what it looks like when it's all dry. So it's gone hard. You get this nice sort of textured thatch look going on, which I really like. This I've seen other methods doing it. I've done other methods of it as well, using sort of plaster and then you sort of sculpt it in. Drawback on that is it becomes really heavy, whereas this is really lightweight still, so it's not a lot of weight pushing down onto your piece. But yeah, that's it. You can paint this if you want, but I picked this colour purposely because it really looks like thatch when it goes off, so I'm actually not even going to paint it. I'm just going to leave it like that. I have painted stuff in the past when I've done some Rohan houses, but for this, that was a dark brown that I got, whereas this is perfect, this honey colour, so I'm going to leave this. Really, just got to glue the wheel in here and put it in the hill, and we're pretty much done, so crack on with that. Just got the wheel to put in now. Just going to grab it. Just trying to find out the best way. I think that's it. So I was going to come in. That's some super glue. Speed. Plus I could see this getting on my nerves if it where I was going to make contact. I was going to try and put it all over there. Just sort of put it against the side here. It's quite difficult for me to do from this angle. Hopefully you can see that. And then I'm just going to glue the water sluice on up here using super glue. So I've now that the hill's done, I've popped it in the hill. I haven't glued it in because it's quite near tight. What we're going to do now is just add some sort of clump foliage and lichen around, just around bits and places around the hill. Maybe some clump foliage up here, like you see in the pictures. Particularly only if you see some bald spots here, we'll just put some clump foliage on that. So for this, just going to come in with glue, really. Nothing spectacular. Just going to add some foliage around. Look at this. Just make it look a bit more natural, I guess. Breaking up that grass, really. Plain grass, make it look a bit rough. So add bits of that in. Yeah. And some clump foliage there, I think. Acts as a little bit of greenery. And then add as much or as little as you want, really. I think I'm going to carry on adding bits round, and that'll be pretty much it done. And here it is finished. We'll get it set up in a minute and have a look at it, but this is pretty much it finished. Yeah, really pleased with this. Things that could be better are like obviously the hill. If I was building this in a permanent purpose built board, this would look better, but due to the factors such as storage space and the such, this will do, but it's not too bad. I did want to add some water here. I might have mentioned it in the intro, but I just haven't had time. But I think I'm going to do water in a separate video in some point in the future anyway, so I'll cover it then. But yeah, it's ready to go. We can have a look at it now. I'd like to take the time to say thank you for watching this video. Apologise for all the noise. It's a problem when I do videos in the summer. It gets bloody hot in here, so I have to have the window open. But yeah, thanks for watching. Until the next one, take care.